Greetings, Neuse Little Pod listeners. This is your host, Matt Gore, reminding you to please like, follow, subscribe, and share the podcast on your available podcast apps such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and any other podcast app you can think of. Share our episodes on Facebook and let us know what you think with a comment or review. Now, please enjoy the show. Good evening and welcome to Neuse Little Podcast. This is an audio program talking about the backstage antics and stories of running a small-town community theater on the banks of the Neuse River located in Smithfield, North Carolina. We lovingly refer to the old girl as the Hut. We hope you enjoy. Good evening and welcome to Neuse Little Podcast. We have a very special episode for you today. I have sitting with me today 3 actors from the current show playing at Neuse Little Theater, A Murder is Announced. And we are actually releasing this episode in between the weeks, so they've already had their first weekend. I hear it was a smashing success. We had almost all 3 full houses, so that's really good. And so we have an upcoming show on Friday and Saturday, so that would be on the 23rd and 24th. And those are 8 p.m. shows. So if you want to get tickets, be sure to call 919-934-1873 and reserve those seats. Always better be safe than sorry. Oh, it's hot again up here, folks. So if you'll forgive us, we're all sweltering up here. All these warm bodies in here. So we're going to probably make this a quick one this week. But we want to have time to talk to these 3 actors right here. And I'm going to start on my right here. And this is Patricia Barta. Hi, how are you, ma'am?
Hello, everybody.
And sitting next to her is the wonderful Kathi Nixon.
Hey.
And sitting across from the table from me is Dan Brown.
The man. Brown, yes.
Yeah. It's my first time meeting you, so nice to meet you, sir.
No, good to meet you, too.
All right, so we're going to go around and get your guys' brief background and introduction to Neuse Little Theater. Then we'll talk about the show itself proper, and really we'll go over wherever the conversation takes us. Ooh. So Patricia, now I actually knew you before you came into this play. I met you in February of 2018 when you auditioned for me for The Crucible, and that was your first play, was it not?
It was my very first play, and you were my very first director.
It was a process. You were Rebecca Nurse, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that was a fond memory, and we bonded over that. You were like a newborn or like a piece of clay I can mold and stuff. But tell us how you got here. Tell us how you came to actually audition for an NLT show, because you've been coming to them for quite some time.
I've been here many times. I've been in the audience, and I've always loved what I've seen. And the whole time I've always thought, gee, I would love to, I always saw that there was such a chemistry between all the people here and everything. And I always thought, it'd be so neat to one day be a part of that too. I've always done all my shows in Goldsboro at Center Stage Theater, which also too over there is amazing, the chemistry we have too. Mm-hmm. But this time I just decided, I'm going to go over there and just try an audition, and I did, and for whatever reason I got the part, and here I am.
What part do you play?
I play Bunny, Miss Bunner, and they call her Bunny. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Interesting. All right, we'll get more into the differences between the 2 theaters you work for in just a minute. We'll come back to that. Now, Kathi, you've been in several shows here at Neuse Little Theater. What keeps bringing you back over and over? Because
I'm a big ham. That's what makes me back. Yeah, I like, and I teach drama, so I do a lot of directing, and I just, I want to be on the stage too. So.
Now, where do you teach drama at?
Now I'm at Corinth Holders High School. I did teach drama at Clayton High School for 20 years. I know it seems amazing.
It does. Now tell us how easy it is to be a teacher right now. I know it's easy street all the way.
Oh yeah, no problems. I just waltz right in. Yeah. I just feel like I'm robbing them,
no
taking their
challenges at all.
And teaching drama online was so fun.
Oh yay!
It was so fun.
Let me tell you something that does not for me. If you can make it work, God bless you. But for me, translating rehearsals to Zoom is not my favorite thing.
Oh yeah, we did 2 plays on Zoom, and yeah, it was wow.
Yeah,
fun, good times.
Now what made you decide to audition for this particular play?
I'm a huge Agatha Christie fan.
Right.
So this is actually my third Agatha Christie play here at Neuse Little Theater. And Miss Marple is my favorite Agatha Christie character.
Tell me about her, because I'm going to forget otherwise. Tell me about her, because I really don't know much about that character.
Well, I mean, from what I've read, Agatha Christie put a lot of herself in Miss Marple. Miss Marple just kind of sits back and observes a lot, but and a lot of people just don't pay attention to Miss Marple because she's this little old lady who doesn't say very much, but she usually has stuff figured out before everybody else.
So she's like Angela Lansbury in Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, and Angela Lansbury's character was based on Miss Marple.
Oh, was it? Okay. Everybody here born after 1990 has no idea what we're talking about. Murder, She Wrote was a TV show that was popular in the 90s. And Angela Lansbury is still alive. I saw that the other day. I was like, wow, she's still alive. Anyways, moving on to the gentleman across the table from me, Mr. Dan Brown. How did you come to be here at the Neuse Little Theater, sir?
Funny story. It's funny. Me and Mita were just talking about that. I work at Triple S, Smithfield Summer High School.
Oh, I graduated from there in 2005.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So I work as a custodian. There's a teacher who works there, and I was just telling her one day, I used to do theater. Theater is my dream, or acting, and all blah blah blah. And then she used to do. So she worked at Office Max, and she printed a lot of the flyers for Neuse Little Theater, and she just happened to have Mita's number, and then she called her and was like, "Hey, do you have any auditions?" And there was an audition for Murders Announced, and now I'm here. So
that is really cool. I'm glad. Yeah. I'm about to say if it has to deal with printing off the flyers, she knows Mita for sure. But yeah, that is so cool. Now, what's been your experience here? Is this your first play?
No, in general.
I mean, in your life.
No, not my first play. This is my first play down in North Carolina, because I'm originally from Baltimore. I moved down here in 2020. But yeah, this to be my, this has been a really good experience. Mm-hmm. Just with the cast, the director, everything. It's been quite lovely. In a word, it's all I can really say about it. So yeah.
Well, we'll take it for sure. Now, you mentioned working with Tony, and that's something I want to ask you all about. We'll start with you, Patricia. What's it like working with Tony Pender?
It's been an amazing experience. He's really good, very informative, a lot of instruction, a lot of teaching going on.
Yeah.
So I really feel that I've evolved.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
That's kind of the goal there, isn't it? Other than to put on a good show, it's to grow as an actor, performer. Yes. Now, Kathi, you've done several shows with Tony, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
What's it like doing it again? Because it's been a while, because we had like a little gap there with COVID and all that.
Yeah, I love working with Tony, and I find myself when I get in my classroom doing my Tony imitation. He would
do it.
Yeah.
Do it right.
Well, just friends and neighbors, I just go and then I say, "Don't do me, do you?"
No, don't do me, do you?
Do you? I love you, but the kids know when I start out with "I love you," they're like, "Oh, geez."
I love you, but
yeah. I love you, but yeah. I've seen him do that. I've seen him do that several times. That's it. That's his way of saying, "Be quiet now." Now, you previously worked with him in Walking Across Egypt, and what else?
Our Town.
That's right. Yeah,
you were in it with me.
Yes, I was. It's always interesting to see how Tony's style can kind of, no matter what the play is going to be. Every time you're like, I wonder how he's going to do this one. It's just like, no, he's just going to do what he's always done, the same. Not in a mean way. He's just going to put the Tony style on it, no matter what kind of play it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some 80s with Miss Marple.
I know.
Been interesting.
Yeah, he updated to the 80s, which
Miss Marple's like 120. So.
She's like, this was all orange groves when I was young.
Things have changed.
So, what is it like working with Tony, Dan?
I love his directing style. It's very, very big on, he's very specific. I love his specificity as far as, with blocking and Well, it's very strange. It's like sometimes he's super specific with blocking. Other times he's like, hey, just do whatever you want. or if it comes natural to the character and if it works, he'll let you know, or he won't necessarily say anything. I love that, and I love that he actually wants us to understand the character, their motivations, why they do certain things, and the story as a whole, just because it helps the whole thing come together. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you mentioned his blocking style. Now, how do you approach that as an actor? Because sometimes it'll change through the normal evolution of rehearsal. Mm-hmm. So how do you adapt to that?
As far as because I've even with my character, one thing I guess I'll speak specifically for this role because this is only my first time working with Tony. He's even said with Craddock, Inspector Craddock, he does not stay still. I think a big part of my blocking is, and you tell me if this makes sense, is moving with the pace of the scene. Mm-hmm. It's like if the scene is kind of like if there's like a wave, I'm kind of riding that wave. Craddock, yeah, that's the only way I can like it.
No, that's actually a really good way of explaining it. You've been a director. Yeah. Is your and Tony's style anything similar, or is it totally opposite? And if it is, how does that affect the acting part of it?
Well, it's different in the fact that their grade depends on it. So their lives are in my hands. So I don't have to be as nice as Tony is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little bossier than Tony with the kids. But I do try to do some of the things. Like I try to let them think about their characters more and what do you think. I did Murder on the Orient Express in the spring, and so I had I make the kids study the play a lot before we do it, and to tell me things about their character that maybe is not in the script and things like that.
Do you ever have days where you're just like, fine, I'll just spoon feed it to you?
Oh, many. Yes. Yeah, I bring the spoon.
Yeah. So you guys have got 2 shows left. And you guys have had 3 successful shows so far. What is it? Do you do the same thing every night, Patricia? Do you have a routine coming in here? Or is it, you know what I mean? Do you have like a ritual when you walk in the door to take yourself down from the day, switch to the mindset of this character type of deal?
Yeah, I do. Yes. Because when I come in, I put my stuff away downstairs in the basement in the dressing room, and then I get my copy of the script where I have all my notes, and then I sit down and I try to find a quiet place, and then I just try to get into character, start looking at the script, and slowly start getting into character.
Yeah. Do you like it downstairs?
I love it downstairs. I think it's a great place, but most of the people are downstairs before the show. And it's a little bit too warm for my taste to go outside, so I try to find a little quiet corner someplace in the theater, and
we basically drive her away.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
So what you're saying? I have to find a room no one's been in 20 years.
Deny such things.
So what is your process coming into the door, Kathi?
Just hanging out with the guys.
You're just happening not to have 30, 17-year-olds wandering around.
That's the one thing. I try to stay away from the 17-year-olds because all day with them, and then here and I'm like, I'll tell you a funny story that happened.
Go ahead.
So, as you know, probably Miss Marple knits in all of her novels. She's a knitter, and I'm not a knitter, but I decided I was going to, for this show, not maybe learn to knit, but learn how to fake knit. And then I started realizing that the average age of the people coming here was like, 60 something, and they all know how to knit.
So they're going to be like, that girl don't know how to knit.
So then I decided to change it to cross stitch because I can cross stitch. So Sunday afternoon, I was out on the porch, or maybe it was Saturday night, but people were coming by. I have a bone to pick with you, Miss Marple. Some lady, and I was just like, oh dear, oh goodness. And she said, I saw you cross stitch. Miss Marple does not cross stitch, she knits. So you need to get with the program. Yeah. So I'll still be cross stitching. Thank you very much.
You're in that situation, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
That's exactly right. I tried knitting and it looked ridiculous.
Looked like a cartoon where you just put them together.
Yeah. They were not touching anything. It was horrible.
Yeah. All right, so what about you, Dan? Is there any special ritual you do, getting off of work, coming here?
You know, after I'm done cleaning bathrooms and all, you know,
And that's here. No.
All the glitz and the glamour of that.
you know, that's the life. You know,
It's hard to stay humble.
It really is, man. You know, it's. But you know, I just take a few, like probably once I get in the costume, I just take a few moments just to breathe. You know, just kind of level myself out. That's pretty much it, though.
One of the things I've noticed is with Daniel, all the 17-year-olds seem to gravitate toward him. They really do. They really, it's like, they you know, he's like the alpha male kind of.
I think of myself more of as a signal male. Thank you very much. No.
So how many 17-year-olds are there wandering around downstage?
Well, there's like a
Couple hundred.
It seems like it. And they talk about, you would think they talk about certain things, show tunes. I swear to God, it's like one after the other. They just talk about show tunes.
What's the popular show
everything.
of the moment?
Name it. They are talking about it. They have seen
It's
every
a lot
show.
of-
What's their favorite one this week? I mean, it's just
All of
everything.
know. They talk
Hadestown.
Hadestown.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, they're just, but they've seen everything, and they all have an opinion.
Yeah.
All of them.
I'm just listening to him. I'm like, yeah, I'm learning from you guys. Hey.
There is nothing I'd rather do than to sit down and listen to the opinions of 17-year-olds.
Exactly.
All very
They usually have
valid,
earphones
very-
in.
No, and actually, sometimes they have very valid opinions, but yeah,
I do have to say, they have their finger on the pulse of popular culture better than I do.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
if I
yes.
want to know what's new, you
well,
listen to
Mita, that's
it.
just because you're old.
I am
Easy.
We're old.
Easy.
Yes, as approaching mid-30s, I'm like, it's slowly creeping away. My relevance is slowly creeping away. I'm old. You know, the demographics don't care what I think anymore.
They'll be just like going, just like talking, they're talking everything. And then all of a sudden they'll see me and they're like, "Hi, Miss Kathy." I'm like, just don't. Just stop.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, Miss Kathy.
Were you like scared when like the first plane came around? Were you like scared to get on it?
Did you meet the Orville
Did you
brothers?
freak out when you went to see the first moving pictures and the train came out?
You screamed, "Ah!"
These are called iPods. Yeah.
Oh, ew, they have wires in them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't know I was going to bring you here. And we're just going to bash all the kids in the show.
We love you all.
No, of course. All right. First of all, we do it out of love, and second of all, we need you because NLT skews older sometimes, so we need that younger generation to come here, because a lot of us won't be here forever.
Can't do it by myself.
Yes.
But they're very enthusiastic and
Yeah.
really, every night they have so much fun.
Oh, they are so sweet and so positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
We haven't had any problems whatsoever. Just this really positive energy with them. I enjoy being
Yeah.
around them.
Yeah.
You touched on something there when you said enthusiasm,
Yeah, they
Kathy. And even though Tony, once the show, from working with Tony before, once the show goes up, that's the show, and Tony kind of fades into the background. You know, like the proud papa looking up from the stairs and stuff like that. Because that's what's supposed to happen. And but don't you think that Tony has a knack more than any other director? I don't know about any, but more than most directors.
With the kids.
Well, inspiring enthusiasm,
Oh,
a
yeah.
following.
Yeah, I will tell you, I had Tony come to school before the pandemic. I was doing Almost Maine with my kids. And it's very physical, little things that I wanted Tony, like I think there was a fight scene I wanted his help with. And he came. That's all I heard the rest of the year. When's Tony coming back? I was like, all right, you know what? That was a 1 week thing. Get over it. But yeah, he did. They were so excited to have him there.
Well, what were your thoughts on that? I mean, I don't mean to say like, you know, kiss his butt or something. I'm just saying, with the first time, with someone being here for the first time, does he have a knack for bringing a group together?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yes, Daniel, tell us how wonderful Tony is.
I think he is wonderful. It's crazy. No. He cares about everybody. I can see that. Just in the way even when he's giving notes, he tunes into that one person and he makes sure that they understand. And it's quite lovely to see. And I don't know, because he cares about he cares about the craft, and he cares about everyone else caring about it. No matter how like small or large your role may be, it's.
And he catches stuff you don't know he's going to catch.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you'll do it and you'll think, I hope and you know it's coming up.
Yep,
It's coming up in those notes.
Yeah, you never know you can never pinpoint exactly what he's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fool's errand. Because you go like some nights you're like, I thought I did that all right, and he's like, no.
Yeah.
And then some nights you're like, I bombed that, and he's like, better.
It's the worst thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's good.
And kids are. Do you think kids are easier to direct that way than adults?
Yeah,
sometimes?
the kid, and with me too, they just want to please you. That's what they
Yes.
want. And I'll tell my kids at school, I'm not gonna be telling you how great you are every day. I mean, even if I think it, I'm just trying to make you better. And I think Tony does that too. And they just want, was it good? Tony?
Validation.
I mean, they just and he gives it to him, but he also says, work on this too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's this is not going to be a Tony Love session because we praise him a lot on this show. We praise him a lot on this show, but he is very good at inspiring confidence and inspiring a group. All right, so let's see. Before we wrap up here, because we're going to cut this one short because it is warm up here today, folks. But before we wrap up, is there anything that you guys want to say?
Come to the show.
That'd be nice.
Oh, we'd love to see everybody there.
Yep.
I will see you guys Saturday night.
Cool.
I will be there. Now, is there anything in the show as far as like, not like twists and turns that we can't give away, but does?
I think Miss Marple has a crush on Craddock. I do. I just think,
It's mutual.
he's younger, but I mean, there's something.
It's like this
there's a little
Sapios,
connection there.
kind of thing going on.
You'll see it.
You'll know.
And it's mainly him. It's mainly his crush on Miss Marple.
You'll see the heat. The heat.
You will.
What is this tension?
It's Miss Marple.
It's been a while.
It's this cross
Just
stitch
saying.
over here. What is she cross stitching?
Is it the tweed jacket? Is that what it is?
Oh,
Yeah,
let me tell you.
It's the shoes.
Yeah, the shoes and the chicks dig tweed.
Word.
There's one thing I've learned.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha.
It's all about the tweed.
Noted, man. Noted. Let me get some tweed on it.
We've got some here. Trust me. All right. We're going to put a pin in it there, folks. And I want to thank Patricia, Kathi, and Dan for coming up here in the heat. And yes, I made them turn off the fans because last episode we had a fan on in the background and it sounded like a little film projector. So thank you for bearing with me on that. Hopefully next time we record an episode, it'll be bearable. It'll be bearable for like 1 or 2 sessions and then it'll be freezing. So that'll be
North
great.
Carolina.
Yeah, indeed. But thank you, Patricia.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Kathi, thanks for coming by. I've been wanting to get you on for a while. I'm glad we could finally do that.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't think it'll be the last time. And Dan, thank you. Well, thank you for coming here, first of all. Because I'll say it. NLT could do with a little bit more minority representation. So anytime someone comes out, we encourage everybody. We're very open to new people. And so if you have friends that want to act in something or have a passion for art, tell them to come on out, man.
Yes, sir.
Only if they're as good as you.
Yeah.
No, but thank you so much.
So modest.
No, but I do appreciate it. Thank you.
No, thank you, sir. All right, so signing off for me and Mita, that's Neuse Little Podcast. Have a good evening, folks. Credits for the show. Your host and creator is Matt Gore. That's me. My producer and editor is Mita Toole.
That's me.
Music is by Cody Walker. Please go look up Cody on Cody Walker Music on YouTube, and he's also on Cody Walker Music on Facebook as well. He's local, so and he's got a couple of albums out. Easy listening, John Denver type of guitar voice. That Cody Walker. All right, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.